The moon, once a symbol of human achievement, stands as a silent witness to humanity's greatest leap. In 1969, the world watched in awe as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin took those historic steps, planting the American flag, and forever changing our place in the cosmos. That moment was more than a technological triumph. It was a testament to the power of dreams, determination, and the unyielding human spirit. Now, more than half a century later, the moon is once again at the center of global attention. But this time, the stakes are even higher. The lunar surface has become the stage for a new and unprecedented race. A race not just for glory, but for influence, resources, and the future of space exploration itself. This time, it's not just about reaching it first. It's about who will stay, who will build, and who will shape the destiny of humanity beyond Earth. The vision is no longer limited to flags and footprints. Now, nations and private companies are dreaming of permanent lunar bases, mining operations, and scientific outposts that could serve as stepping stones to Mars and beyond. The United States, with NASA at the helm and private innovators like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others joining the effort, is determined to return to the moon. The Artemis program aims to land the first woman and the next man on the lunar surface, establishing a sustainable presence and opening the door to a new era of exploration. American engineers, scientists, and astronauts are working tirelessly, fueled by the legacy of Apollo and the promise of a new frontier. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, China is steadily crafting its own path to the stars. The Chinese space program, with its methodical approach and ambitious goals, has already achieved remarkable milestones. From robotic landers to lunar sample return missions, China is proving itself as a formidable contender in the new space age. Experts suggest China's taikonauts might be the next to leave footprints on the lunar surface. Their training is rigorous, their technology advancing rapidly, and their vision clear, to establish a long-term presence on the moon, and to demonstrate that China is a leader not just on Earth but in the cosmos as well. This isn't just a competition between two nations. It's a contest that could redefine global power, technological leadership, and the very nature of international cooperation and rivalry. The outcome may influence not only who leads in space, but who shapes the rules and values of humanity's future beyond our planet. And it's not just the United States and China. Other nations and international coalitions are joining the race. The European Space Agency, India's ISRO, Japan's JAXA, and private companies from around the globe are all developing their own lunar missions, eager to claim a stake in this new era of exploration. The moon is becoming a truly international destination, with collaboration and competition unfolding side by side. The cosmos is now a playground for multiple players, each bringing unique strengths, ambitions, and dreams. The race is no longer a sprint, but a marathon, one that will test the limits of technology, diplomacy, and human ingenuity. The question is no longer if we'll return to the moon, but who will lead, who will innovate, and who will inspire the next generation. Will it be the nation that plants the most flags, the one that builds the first lunar city, or the coalition that brings the world together in pursuit of a common dream? The story of this race is one of ambition, innovation, and challenges. It's about overcoming the harsh realities of space, developing new technologies, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Every launch, every rover, every experiment brings us closer to a future where the moon is not just a destination but a gateway to the stars. As the decade closes, the world watches to see whose boots will next touch lunar dust. Will it be a moment of national pride or a symbol of global unity? The answer will shape not only the future of space exploration but the story of humanity itself. The journey back to the moon has begun, and the final chapter is unwritten. The challenges are immense, but so are the opportunities. As rockets thunder skyward and dreams take flight, we stand on the brink of a new era, one filled with hope, uncertainty, and the promise of discovery. It's a thrilling time to gaze at the sky and wonder what's next. The moon calls to us once more, inviting us to explore, to learn, and to dream bigger than ever before. The great cosmic race of the 21st century is underway, and its outcome will echo through the ages. For decades, the story of lunar exploration was written by two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Their rivalry fueled a golden age of spaceflight, with iconic moments like the Apollo 11 landing and the tense drama of the space race captivating the world. The moon became a symbol of technological prowess and national pride, a distant frontier conquered by human ingenuity and ambition. Today, a new chapter is unfolding. China, once an outsider in the space race, is now emerging as a formidable force. With each successful launch, the nation demonstrates its growing capabilities, signaling to the world that it is ready to compete at the highest level. The sight of Chinese rockets piercing the sky and taikonauts preparing for their missions is now a regular feature in global headlines. This rise did not happen overnight. China's journey to the moon is the culmination of decades of meticulous planning, scientific research, and relentless determination. From the earliest days of its space program, Chinese engineers and scientists have worked quietly, often in the shadows, building the foundation for what is now a world-class space agency. In recent years, China has achieved remarkable milestones. Its Chang'e missions have sent robotic explorers to the lunar surface, returning precious samples to Earth and paving the way for even more ambitious goals. Now the nation has set its sights on a historic achievement, landing humans on the moon by 2030. This bold objective is not just about reaching the lunar surface, it's about establishing a lasting presence and demonstrating technological independence. If successful, this mission would mark a turning point, not only for China, but for humanity's relationship with the moon. It would be a triumph of science, engineering, and national willpower, and a powerful symbol of China's arrival as a global leader in space exploration. The image of a Chinese flag planted firmly on the lunar surface would resonate far beyond the scientific community. It would send a clear message: the balance of power in space is shifting. The moon, once a stage for Cold War rivalry, could soon become the backdrop for a new era of international competition and cooperation. Unlike many other nations, China's space program benefits from strong centralized government support. This allows for long-term planning and the allocation of vast resources, free from the political gridlock that can slow progress elsewhere. Every mission is part of a larger, carefully orchestrated strategy, with clear goals and unwavering commitment from the highest levels of leadership. The vision extends far beyond a single landing. China is already laying the groundwork for a sustained lunar presence, with plans for research stations, resource extraction, and international partnerships. Training facilities buzz with activity as the next generation of taikonauts prepares for their historic journeys, and engineers refine the technologies that will make long-term lunar exploration possible. As the world watches, the dragon's gaze is fixed on the moon. This is no longer just a race for scientific discovery, it's a contest for global influence, technological leadership, and the future of humanity's presence beyond Earth. The next giant leap may well be taken under the watchful eyes of a new superpower. The United States, once the undisputed leader in lunar exploration thanks to its legendary Apollo missions, is now setting its sights on the moon once again. The Apollo era, marked by the iconic Saturn V rocket launches and the unforgettable moment when Neil Armstrong took his first steps on the lunar surface, inspired generations and showcased American ingenuity at its peak. But after decades of focusing on low Earth orbit, NASA is ready to return to deep space, this time with a bold new vision. Enter the Artemis program, NASA's ambitious initiative to not only revisit the moon, but to establish a long-term, sustainable human presence there. Artemis aims to build on the legacy of Apollo, but with modern technology, international collaboration, and a focus on inclusivity and sustainability. The program's centerpiece is the powerful Space Launch System, or SLS, and the Orion spacecraft, both designed to carry astronauts farther than ever before. One of Artemis's most historic goals is to land the first woman and the first person of color on the lunar surface, breaking new ground in representation and opportunity. The program also envisions building the Gateway, a lunar orbiting outpost that will serve as a staging point for missions to the moon and eventually, Mars. Training is underway for a new generation of astronauts who will face challenges unlike any before them. However, the path to the moon is anything but smooth. The Artemis program has encountered significant delays, technical hurdles, and budget overruns. Developing new spacecraft and launch systems is a monumental task, and every setback means more time and money. Engineers and mission planners work tirelessly to solve problems, but the complexity of the mission means that timelines are constantly shifting. Artemis II, the first crewed mission to orbit the moon in over 50 years, was originally scheduled for 2024. Now, due to technical issues and safety concerns, its launch has been pushed back to 2026. This delay has a domino effect, impacting the entire Artemis schedule and pushing back subsequent missions. The highly anticipated Artemis 3 mission, which aims to return humans to the lunar surface, is now optimistically targeted for 2027. This mission will be a defining moment for NASA and its partners, as it will test new technologies, landing systems, and the ability to work on the moon for extended periods. Central to Artemis is the SLS rocket, the most powerful rocket NASA has ever built. While its capabilities are impressive, the SLS is also extremely expensive and slow to produce and launch. Critics argue that its high cost and infrequent launches could hinder the pace of lunar exploration, especially as commercial alternatives like SpaceX's Starship rapidly advance. Meanwhile, these delays have opened the door for international competition. China, with its rapidly advancing space program, is making significant strides toward its own lunar ambitions. The Chinese Space Agency has announced plans for crewed lunar missions and is investing heavily in new rockets, landers, and lunar infrastructure. The U.S. approach to Artemis is unique in its emphasis on international partnerships. NASA is working closely with agencies from Europe, Canada, Japan, and beyond, pooling resources and expertise. This collaboration brings innovation and shared goals, but also adds layers of complexity and the need for careful coordination among many nations and organizations. Every delay in the Artemis timeline is more than just a scheduling issue. It's a strategic opportunity for China and other nations to catch up or even surpass the US in the new space race. The world is watching as NASA and its partners race against time, technology, and international rivals to return humanity to the moon and secure a foothold for the future of space exploration. Central to NASA's moon plan is SpaceX's Starship, a revolutionary vehicle. Starship's success is crucial for the Artemis 3 mission. If successful, it could lower space travel costs and enable a moon base. However, the technology is new and complex, with many hurdles to overcome. SpaceX must prove in-orbit refueling and perfect the landing system. Each delay for Starship impacts Artemis 3. The fate of the U.S. return to the moon rests on this private spacecraft. While attention is on NASA and SpaceX, China executes a steady strategy. They set clear goals, work methodically, and announce success after the fact. China's space program has moved from Earth orbit to lunar surface with robotic missions. Their achievements, like landing on the moon's far side, are remarkable. The Chang'e program has provided valuable experience for human missions. China's step-by-step approach gives them an advantage. Their plan, similar to Apollo but with modern tech, reduces risk of delays. China's advantage lies in its focused, long-term national plan. Guided by the government, it avoids budget cuts and political changes. This consistency allows for long-term planning and unified effort. In contrast, the U.S. effort can seem less coordinated, subject to political shifts. China's system is designed for steady progress, aiming for a moon landing by 2030. Their unwavering commitment gives them an edge. For China, a moon landing is just the beginning. Their goal is a permanent human presence with the International Lunar Research Station. Located at the moon's south pole, it would be a scientific outpost. Plans include a nuclear power plant and lunar GPS system. This focus on a permanent base differs from Apollo's short visits. A base allows for continuous research and economic activity. China's long-term vision positions it as a leader in space exploration. The US and China aim for the moon but take different paths. The US approach through NASA's Artemis involves government and private industry. It encourages innovation but comes with risks and uncertainties. China's path is cautious and consistent, building on proven technologies. Their progress is more predictable, avoiding major delays. This contrast defines the space race, a sprint on a tightrope versus a marathon on a paved road. As we look to the moon, we're at a pivotal moment in history. China's steady approach makes it a formidable contender. The US, with SpaceX, bets on a technological revolution. The question of who lands first may be a footnote. The real race is to build a lasting presence on the moon. Will it be China's state-led model or America's commercial-driven vision? The answer will shape our future in the stars.